To enjoy relationship success, I want you to watch out for the following. If you will enjoy relationship and also enjoy marriage, number one is chemistry. There must be a chemistry. Chemistry is what attracts you to the person. What attracts you. If you have a battle of attraction, it is better you work on it before you sign that I do. Because most of the time, what happens to people eventually when they get married is that the attraction level begins to go out. The attraction level begins, what attracted them to the person. So many things can attract you. It can either be lust, it could be infatuation, or it could be love. There are people say, the moment I saw her, I was just in love. We need to check that thing. As I was passing and she was passing, my heart was doing bang. We need to test your heart rate. Sometimes it is just infatuation, might not be real love. Real love stands the test of time, but lust and infatuation doesn't stand the test of time. When you see yourself attracted to a person because of their physique, their size, or their oratory, something needs to be questioned, because you want to be sure that there is the right chemistry that is drawing you to this person, because that is what also pulls you up when you are in the home. Chemistry, listen, you might marry somebody because they have some things, they are good, but if you are not attracted to each other, you will live like cat and dog in the house, because attraction goes a long way. You don't just want to be in a relationship with somebody that you'll be afraid of going home, afraid of calling the person. You understand what I say? Because you are not attracted. You are not attracted. You understand? And attraction is very important, because if you are not attracted, then you are distracted. That's the point. So we also, it's something that we build over time. Some of the times, the things that makes us to really build our love is when you realize that you can flow with somebody. You know what it means to flow. You know, you feel this something. There's something apart from the lust, apart from the fact that you want to be with somebody on the bed. There are things you just realize that there is an inner witness in you about something. Number two thing you need to watch out for is compatibility. Compatibility. That's what I just shared right now. You got to be compatible. If you marry somebody you love and you are not compatible, you will always have issues. You might love the person, but love is strong enough to cover up some things. But compatibility helps us, because it is compatibility that connects us in our ability to relate together. You have to ensure that you are spiritually compatible, you are emotionally compatible, you are mentally compatible. Compatibility helps you to be able to associate better, to be able to communicate better. There are people that when their partner calls them, they don't feel like picking, because at the end of the conversation they will fight. Every time they talk, they will fight. They have to test the compatibility level. You understand? There are people that you are so compatible with that before you finish your statement, they know the right thing. You understand that kind of thing. Those things are built, because like if you have a circle, you can't use a square peg to put in it. It got to be able to fix in. That's why even when God was looking for a person for Adam, he said, I need somebody comparable with him. Comparable with him. Someone he could relate with. Someone he could flow along with. That is a test that we also need to look into in our relationship. And those are the things we look into as we grow on. Number three is commitment. We talked about commitment earlier. We need to test commitment, and it must be from both sides. Commitment enhances the success of relationship. Number four is character. Character is the wheel upon which relationship rides. Character, attitude, behavior, it influences relationship success. Character, it's the summation of who we are. That's why I keep talking about we got to work on our person. We got to work. Now that you are still, there are people that are married and still struggling with who they are. Marriage does not define who you are. Who you are defines your marriage. Your marriage can influence who you are. And I need to talk about something also at that point that I've had people say, oh, I know he's always he's an addict. I know he's a womanizer. I know he's this and that. But when we get married, I will change him. You don't change people. Change is a function of choice. But relationship can influence people to change. But the change is going to be a decision. For good, it's going to be a decision. You can't force people to change. You can influence them to change, but you can't just say change. If you don't change, I say I will change, because I will change because I'm getting something from you. Then some people are just waiting for them. Say, you saw me before we got married. You know that was I. This is me. And then you are hooked up. You have to carry your cross daily. And in some world like we are, they say I'm out. I said, you are out. You got married last year. You are out this year. Why are you out? That's why we have to get it right from the beginning. The foundation of it is your person. So you don't be carried away with what somebody has or what somebody is saying, but who they are. But we know out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth will speak. The person's attitude and character will always show up. Will always show. That's why you have to do things outside of date. Outside of we having a date. Just do something that get the person in conversation. In conversation, you begin to see the right person, because what we say is our life. We speak based on who we are, and that is it. Even if somebody has learned something, the only time the person will be able to impress you is the first time you meet. After that, when you just engage in spontaneous conversations that there is no room for rehearsals, then you start getting the kind of person you are dealing with. Okay, let me stop there. Let's deliberate. But I want us to talk, because part of the objective of Singles Hangout is to be able to see what are the areas that singles are having issues, what are the areas that is affecting, what are the fears of singles in relation as it comes to relation, what are the fears, then what are the experiences that have taken place that we could see how we begin to work on it, so that we will be able to position ourselves for better relationship. Or what are the area of challenges that we might be able to look into? All right, so the floor is open. Let's talk. Microphone. Willie wants to talk now. It's his turn.
Question.
Right.
I have a friend, not me, my friend.
Yeah, I like that way. I like the question to go that way. Thank you. A friend. Yeah.
Who was in a relationship for close to 7 years. And one day the lady just came up and said, I've fallen out of love for this guy. So
that the love has expired.
I really don't understand what it means by like falling out of love, because they were so much in love. You could see if they were so much in love. It was so promising. Then one day she said she has fallen out of love. So what's the meaning of falling out of love?
Okay, what's the meaning of falling out of love? Okay, I think Willie will be able to define, because we define a lot of things, or if I would define it. Okay, Willie wants to talk now. I want you to talk before you leave your head. You go and do comedy.
Maybe falling out of love. You just, from what I believe, you don't just fall out of love with somebody. It's gradually over time. Maybe he's been doing stuff that she's not been pleased over a while, and he could change it, but he did not see the importance of it. And over time, you can only tolerate something that you don't like for a certain amount of time before. It's not like you've fallen out of, you still have love for the person, but because of the negative parts of them, it makes you not appealing in your eyesight anymore. That's what I think. Like Willie said, there will have been some signs, some things over time going in and going on, that if, just like the crack in the wall, if it's not taken care of, we might eventually have a collapse of the building. But I'm going to talk a little about that later. Okay,
I have a question about that.
Oh, I want us to talk about this fall out of love first.
Well, yeah.
Okay, in relation to the question, okay.
Yes, the falling out of love, it could be that she rediscovered herself.
After 6 years.
7 years.
Yeah, that's true.
It's possible, because sometimes when you start something, sometimes it starts with deceit. And then when you're in there, you find yourself, and then you become honest with yourself. And then you tell yourself, this is not really what I want. I thought it was what I wanted, but it's not. Now, the question I have is, was it okay for them? I mean, I'm not in support of dating long. 7 years is
that's part of the areas I want to have the question.
So was it something that they agreed on, or did she want to get married earlier, or did she feel like they were not going anywhere? That's also another thing. 7 years that you're married. Pretty much.
Yeah, I don't know if they agreed upon being together for 7 years, but it so happened. I think they were just dating and everything.
Yeah, some things. Now, really, we in relationship, we don't many times recommend long term, especially as Christians, because it gives room to so many things. Number one, it can give room to weakness. It can give room to every level of temptation. It can give room to people changing their mind abruptly, or things happening, of course. But it is also better at that level that the person realizes that, no, I can't, because it's going to take a lot of courage to pull out of such a relationship. Just like I shared with you mine, it took a lot of courage. But eventually, it's better for the person to be where they want to be than to now eventually get married to such a person, and then 2 years after marriage, the person now realizes that, no, I had to go.
But maybe to
buttress
what she said. So if you've discovered yourself, is this sin as falling out of love? Because what she's saying might be.
I think the person just used that fallout of love as a way to
very good.
To get out of the relationship.
The guy was devastated, but the lady was able to move on.
Yeah, because the lady has already built another love. I mean, that's the thing, there is another love. Now when we look at it, let me tell you the reality. Let us be real. Number one, most often than not, ladies, when they are in a relationship, by the 3rd year they want to get married, or before that, or some after that. There are some long-term relationships that works, but it has to be definite. There must be a purpose defined from the beginning, and also influences on each other. That, okay, now, oh, you have done that, okay, keep moving on. When people are busy pursuing life, it helps them to not be distracted from the relationship, that they knew that this thing, we are building it into the future. You understand that? But along the line, when a lady realizes that this guy is not proposing marriage, we don't even know what he's doing. And sometimes when they realize that the guy is not moving from the level he is to another level, they realize that, man, I can't wait for this one. No, I can't stay in this rural place. There is God has done a miracle bus stop the next place. So that's one of the things about women. And sometimes it could be pressure, depending on age. Parents can put pressure on that. Are you still staying with that guy that is not going to school, or doesn't even know how his life is going to be? Then the girl, even though the girl is in love, will still be looking at he will make it. He has defended. At the end of the day, somebody just showed up with what she was looking for. It's going to be easy for her to just enter into that one and say, this guy, I don't know when he's going to propose, if he's even going to propose at all. They are always waiting for this proposed thing. Ladies are waiting for this proposed thing, so you have to, you see, of course. So, but really, one of the things we can learn from this thing is that long-term relationship might work for some people, it might not work for some people. You have to be able to define it from the beginning and be able to see how we go about it, because it should be a place, a platform for us to get to know each other better and to grow each other and enhance each other's destiny and life. But sometimes it doesn't work because of different things, pressures that comes in, and also sometimes it helps to be able to see if this person is someone that can stand long with someone or not. You understand? So that's not my view on that. Any other question or? Yes, ma'am.
I want to ask that how can one know if one is actually secure? How can one know if one is secure in a relationship? Like when you're in a relationship, like, okay, is this relationship secure for me to stay? So I want to know about more about security in a relationship.
Okay, I want us to talk about that, especially for those of you that have had experiences. Let's talk about that, because I understand that is part of one of the challenges that we also have in relationship. How do you get to know?
Sir.
Yes, sir.
On the part of the lady, if you are in a relationship with a guy, I'm going to talk on the part of the guy. If I know a lady is secured being in relationship with me, everything that I will be putting up will be a reflection of the altar and marriage.
A reflection of what?
The altar and marriage.
Okay.
It's not going to be like, hey, today we are clubbing, today we are going to this place, we are shopping, we are doing this, we are doing whatever. So all I will show up is, okay, what do you think we can do to make this work? What do you think we can this business, what do you say about it? Even if she's not even going to be putting her own money in the relationship, things I'll be bringing up will actually get to let her know. I'll tell her, hey, my mom wants to talk to you. Hey, can you talk to my mom about this? Can you talk to my uncle? Oh, I have a friend. And the way I will place that lady in front of my friends is not going to be like, oh, she's just my girlfriend. I won't have you be around my friends. I'm talking as a guy now, like for me to show a lady she's secured in relationship, the way I will talk to you in the presence of my friends, I will let them know, hey, this is not just don't talk to her like the way you talk to me, don't talk to her that way. And whenever she's around, I will let her know. I will give her signal signs that, okay, this is you are not just my girl, you are my wife today. So you are part of me. So I can't out of stupidity take out my knife and plug out the rib of my chest. So the way I take care of my part is the way so for you to know you are secured in relationship, things like that looks dating will be off it. And I will always show to you that, okay, this is leading to I will treat you like my wife.
So there will be caring, there will be concern.
Commitment, and I'll be ready to serve.
To serve, okay.
Yes, because from the book of Genesis 24, we can see how how marriage should work.
Yeah.
The lady too must be ready to serve. And if I see, this is something I always don't like when it comes to relationship. When there is no way we'll be in relationship without having one issue or the other. If we can sit together and clear it off, that means the marriage cannot work. Some ladies will actually go out telling their friends, hey, do you see what that guy did? Imagine. No. Or maybe the third party is coming in to help you solve one thing or the other. So, this is just what I can say for now. I think it's in broad. So,
okay. Yeah, I want us to talk because why is that?
Thank you.
Eventually, part of what this will lead us to, what I see is that maybe the next quarter along the line, we'll have men sit down like this, we'll have ladies sit down like this, and then we're going to be asking some questions. How can we make you secure? You understand? So that we're able to see from the perspective, when a woman is talking about security, it might be another different thought, a different what a man is thinking. Because the man says, after all, I'm spending on you, I'm buying you clothes. What else do you want me? How do you want me to still show? You understand? But sometimes a lady wants you to put them as your BP or BBM.
All of them.
Make sure that she is there. The screensaver, let them see. And when you talk, you always make reference to her. Sometimes that is security. Yeah, let's talk.
Thank you so much. I think what our brother was sharing is very nice. But I think her question was, how will you know that you are
secured as a lady? Okay.
So maybe the way we have to answer is, how will I know I am secure?
That's right.
With a lady, how like?
If she's saying all those things I've talked about.
Okay.
She should know that she's secure.
Okay. Oh, and how will you know that you are secure?
I want you to talk about that. How will you know that she will not fall out of love? Like the lady fell out of love.
I've not been in a very long relationship, but I've been in a very, very long mode of talking to a lady, talking to her, telling her, hey, please, can you marry me for 9 good years? That's a lot.
Really, what happened?
9 good years. I was talking to a lady, hey, please, can you marry me? And then I had the opportunity of meeting other ladies coming my way as an instrumentalist, as probably, let me just.
Okay, Willie, look at me.
It's making me cry.
No. Let's go. We are flowing.
So, as a guy, I've been to the level that there was this when I was serving Nigerian army. I got to the point that I met this lady. I knew her from school back then. So by the time we met, when I was serving Nigerian army, she came to me and she was like, "Hey, Ralph, I'm going back to school." I was like, "Okay." I wasn't having much on me, but she said, "Oh, I have to go back to school. We are not married. Why must you expect me to contribute to your school fee or whatever you want to buy?
Because you are a partner.
Don't expect it. Don't expect it." But I was like, okay, well, I'll give it. Then I was having like 4,000 naira Nigerian money with me in my pocket. I gave her 3,000 naira, and I was having 1,000.
So much in love. Wow.
That's the thing, this guy.
Okay.
The comedian is giving.
Yeah. I mean, no, we are learning.
I gave her 3,000, and she was like, what do you think about this 3,000? Do you think this can buy this? This can buy.
So
that?
you should have given her your life. That's
I was like, okay, no problem. I'm sorry. I begged her, and I took her out of my door. And by the time she got to my door, I told her, "This is the last time you ever come to this house."
You fell out of love.
Yeah, I told her.
As earlier.
She, with that attitude, ladies is just very, very fast. It's very, very obvious. I mean, it's very, very quick for ladies to show you are not secured in relationship. That is men can still hide because we have ego. We are dramatists. We can prove to be a good guy today and tomorrow madman and next tomorrow professor and next. But ladies,
men can hide.
Yes, men can hide because we have all it takes to control women because we always know they are from us. Women can hide, but for a lady to show you are secured or not, it's very easy for you to get. So these are just the steps. Like maybe you actually, the way she talks to you in public places, like maybe when you guys are maybe interacting or something, and before you say anything, she's selfish. She's like, maybe you're like this. I was in a relationship. I was sovereign. I had to travel from Texas to Kansas, Wichita. So I was with the problem I was facing over there. This lady called me, and she wasn't even worried about what I was passing through, and I already told her, and she was like, "Hey, when you come back, can you help me get this? Can you help me get that? Can you?" I was like, "Damn, she's such a selfish lady." So I was like, "Okay, no problem. When I come back," and by the time I came back, everything opened up.
Amen. Willie, what do you see to that?
Well, first of all, before you even talk about security in a relationship, you should first know if this is the will of God for you.
That's right.
First and foremost, it's only when you know that this is the person. If you know that this is the person, then you have to start preparing yourself, making adjustments to fit and working on the things that you need to work on. But if it's not the will of God for you, security, I guess it's more difficult. You just have to try to figure out, if you're secured or not. But I think it's important that you first of all go to God and ask God, is this your will for me? Now, asking God for God's will is not something he answers directly. It's a process.
That's right.
As you go along in the relationship, you'll discover if this is the person or not. Time reveals a lot of things. And that's what I tell my friends. Give it time. Time brings about revelation. Yes, we all want to marry the right person, but it's not going to just happen all of a sudden.
That's right.
It's a process that you go through. As you're going through that relationship, keep in mind that whatever happens, you're not supposed to come out bitter. Very important.
Yeah.
you cannot come out bitter. You're supposed to learn and become better. So that, because what the devil has been doing is pairing the wrong people up so that you can have a bad experience. And so when the real person comes,
You treat them.
you treat them in a bad way. So we have to be aware of the devices of the enemy. Your experiences is not for you to be bitter. You learn from it. When the right person comes, it should be easy for you to still be good, you know, without changing. So I would say focus on the will of God, and then you can figure out security. There's something else I wanted to say, but I'm not.
I have a question. All right. Y'all bear with me now. Before you buy a car, you test drive, right? Okay.
Before you buy a car,
You test drive the car to
test
make
drive.
sure you don't
Okay.
just look on the outside.
so should we be test driving?
Wait, let me.
Okay.
Before
I'm
you-
holding on.
Before you eat at a buffet, you take small to make sure you enjoy it before you go back for more. Correct.
That's right.
Before you buy your clothes, you make sure it fits on you at the dressing room before you go. So why, when it comes to marriage, we don't try it first? Now, listen, I'm still a virgin, and you need to. I'm saying, like, you may not be sexually compatible with a person. You understand me? So why is it that we don't test drive women or sex before? Because a big portion of women said the divorce did not please sexually in a marriage.
In the
I mean,
marriage.
20 years to be married and not be pleased sexually is a long time to be deprived of something God gave us to enjoy. You know, so I'm saying I'm not saying we should all just go.
No. I got you. I
Guy
can
talk,
relate
guy talk.
with
You
you.
know, ladies
Now
always-
let me interpret what he's saying.
Guy talk now.
Willie is saying that if you want to buy a car, you test drive it. You want to eat in a buffet, you test the food. You want to buy a cloth, you test to see if it fits. The everything we test. There's always a testing. Like we test microphone. Hello, tutu. Now, then the question is, why don't we test drive relationship, either as a man or a woman, to know if it's going to be sweet or not? The question now is, how do we test drive a relationship? Are you getting what I'm saying now? So, but from what Willie was passing across to me in the spiritual, I could deduce that it was saying sex is one of the ways, or the only way, to test drive a relationship. Okay, now let's talk about it a little. This is going to be a major subject, but we are not going to finish it today, because we have a generation that has come up with this thing over and over again, and they are saying, just like you said, that there are people that they are getting out of their marriages because they said they are not being sexually pleased in the marriage, and they divorce. Now you are saying that if they have tested it before, they will have known if it's a good car or not. But the answer is this. Listen to me. All the things we shared has to do with you. The cloth, the flute, the car. It's about pleasing you. But marriage is beyond pleasing one person. It's beyond pleasing. It's beyond what you want to put on or what you want to put in. You understand? Or what you want to drive. Because women are not drivable. They are not cars. Marriage is a union. You understand? It's a union. Two people connecting together to make it work. So let's assume that I want to be in this business of testing. If I've tested Sarah, I've tested Shade, I've tested Yabor, I've tested, one day I might test to death. You understand what I'm saying now? So the secret answer is this. That's what I tell this generation, that check it. Everything we test has to do with fulfilling our appetite, our own picture. But we cannot be testing marriage or relationship because it's not about us. It's about we. So we can't just say, I want to test it if it's good. Now the question is, what if we had sex and we tested it and you realize it wasn't good? Then you're going to run out of love. You're going to run out of love. Then you move to the next one, test. Then we will test all of the cars, and we have second-hand cars all over the country. No brand new tier robbers anymore. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are watching me and listening to me, we don't test drive marriage. We want to be sure that this is number one. Somebody talked about the will of God. We're going to talk about that in the course of our outreach. Our hanging out. Somebody also talked about security. And we need to know that generally, things we do outside of marriage is sin. If we sex out of marriage, is fornication. Sex within two people that are not married is fornication. Sex between a married person and an unmarried person is adultery. Either Bible or not, either worldly or not, is sin is a sin. And to be ignorant of it is not an excuse as well. So because at the end of the day, we have so many things to put at risk. Some people's life has been jeopardized because somebody they have tested has placed some arrows on their head, and you understand what I'm saying now? And go levels. Okay, somebody want to talk.
Okay.
I know this question will generate answers.
Praise God.
Yes.
About the test driving
Afua, you're welcome.
stuff.
No, that's not Afua.
Nancy.
That's Nancy. Sorry.
About the test driving marriage thing, it's, I don't know, our generation think it's okay, right?
Yeah.
But the tricky thing about that is once you get exposed to someone, it will affect you when you meet the right person. Because now if you're testing, you're sleeping with different men or women, when you end
no, it's
up
not sleeping, it's testing.
Huh? No, but the thing is, when you test and you go around different men and women, when you meet that person, you're going to have expectations. And that will affect your marriage. It's just like, take for instance, porn. Men that watch porn, when they get married, they have expectations. Why? Huh? Which is wrong, but some married people watch porn, I guess. But I'm not a huge fan of that. But the thing is, it affects them because they'll have expectations.
They now place unnecessary demand and expectation on their partner, on the husband. That's right. Yeah, either way. Yeah, it works in both sides.
Both ways. It's hold on.
So are you saying that it's only men that watch porn or what?
Huh?
He's trying to say only men watch porn. No. In society, right? If a man can please a woman, he's not a man. That's society. You know what I'm saying?
If a man what?
Cannot please a woman.
It's not a man. It depends on what pleasing is all about.
Yes, it depends on what you're talking about. Besides, the man is supposed to learn to know how to please his wife, because honestly, satisfaction is a big deal. Some of the times, the reason why some women cheat is based on satisfaction. The man should know how to handle it. So you can't say because you speak in tongues that's an excuse not to enlighten yourself. And I'm not saying you should watch porn, but by all means, if you know how to pray about it. Read books. They have books about love making. They have all these things that you can learn, because honestly, when you get married, that becomes a problem. But exposing yourself before you meet that right person, it can affect you. If you're with the real one, you can be thinking about your experience with your ex or somebody else, and that would also affect performance. So it's a trick that the devil does with us, and we have to be very careful about it. And that's why it's very necessary for you to break soul ties. When you break soul ties, you also have to erase the memories.
Talk, because we have to be able to identify.
So I have
No, it's perfect time.
So I have this other question to
About
the security thing. I think we didn't finish with the security.
the security. Okay.
And
We're
then
going to talk about it.
What Deborah also said about the men learning. I think it should be both ways. It shouldn't be just men trying to learn to please the woman. And when we are talking of pleasing in all sense, like not just sexually, but like it's like if you are sitting there saying, "Oh, my man has to please me, my guy has to please me," it puts a toll on the guy. It's like the demand is on the guy to please the lady. Okay. But the pleasing should not be just one side, but it should be both sides.
On both sides.
And as well as be it spiritual, pleasing, economically. Like, I'm not saying the woman should pay the bills and everything, but there should be contribution here and there. There should be like, what can I do? What can I do to make my partner happy?
Yeah, on both sides.
On both sides.
That is love.
So it shouldn't be the man should please the woman. And when it comes to the bedroom also,
okay,
it shouldn't be that the man should learn how to do, like, you should know. He should know.
There is the woman's responsibility also to on both sides.
So the way I like it this way, why don't we do it this way? Like that, and it works.
Okay.
And then the matter of security, like how do you know that you are secure? I think that's a very broad thing that we need to. It's very important.
Now, I want
very important
you
for
to
us
take me notes. You know, like I said, part of the objective of this hangout is to be able to see some areas of challenges and research on how we can solve them. Now, like I said, if we sit down now, we ask a man, if you are in a relationship with a woman, how will you know what are the things you're expecting to help you see that you are secured? You understand? And like, I have a question here that, you know, I thought we will have, you know, that what should ladies look out for in their future husband? The same thing, what should the man look out for in their future husband? So when we look at these things together, we'll be able to see from the perspective of a woman, because men are logical, women are emotional. So in answering this security question, a man, to make a woman secure, must be able to understand that our security, most often than not, lies in the emotional side more. Oh, I'm spending for you, but you are not checking on me. You understand? I'm buying you everything, but you don't know if I'm okay. So the man is just saying, as long as I can take care of you, like even in marriage, some men will just go, you don't see them all through the day. As after all, I bought the food at home, you have the television, you have the children. But the woman is looking for something beyond that, because this is the reason. She was taken out of the man. So there is what they call a vacuum. Women looks for attention. A man demands respect. That is why when you see a woman always acting up, most often than not, the husband is not always there. So in answering some security questions, we got to be able to understand that women, when they are talking or thinking, they think more with their emotional side, but the man thinks more with the logical side. If a woman is saying, oh, I'm giving you all you need, whenever you say you want to meet with me, I'm giving to you, but you are not expecting me, the man is not secure. Because you say, I'm satisfying you emotionally, but my logical need, you're not meeting up. Some in some areas like that. But in the area of relationship, we need to first of all be certain that we are in the center of God's will. You understand? In part of our sequences, we're going to be looking at how do we know the will of God? How do we discover that this person is God's will for me? Some people are waiting to hear a voice and say, oh, daughter, that guy is your... Sometimes you don't hear that voice anymore, you know. It's not. But the security thing is from those two direction and dimension.